The emergence of the modern world, l'esprit nouveau, began in the factories of the British Empire. Richard Arkwright's spinning wheel not only created a new building typology factory, but also spawned the growth of cities as a product of the Industrial Revolution. The resulting factor of the industrial machine fostered the urbanization of cities all over the world. The rural population migrated into cities for employment opportunities and recreational amenities. Speed and efficiency became the language of the age. Advancement in transportation, engineering, and production started to influence all others matter of human living condition. Aviation, maritime, automobile, and the increased capabilities of new materials would have a major influence on the discipline, discourse, and practice of architecture. The modern spirit led architects such as Le Corbusier, Adolphe Loos, Mies van der Rohe, and many others to adopt the methods and practice cultivated from this area. The need for vast and efficient production of housing to accommodate the growing population was the driving force that created modern architectural theory. Most notable of these are the 5 points and Mies van der Rohe model of less is more, and the products of Walter Gropius's Bauhaus. Furthermore, electric light, mechanical ventilation, central cooling, air conditioning, and the module box shed the concern for context in relation to program and climatic condition. According to Björk Ingels from the Analyst of Bernard Rudofsky in Architecture Without an Architect, the architect prior to the international style fostered by modernism disregard centuries of architecture adapting to the local resources, climate, environment, and living conditions. Responding to the necessity of an ecosystem is the mean for creating a sustainable practice for design. Although an idea necessary for the time, l'esprit nouveau, would prove to disconnect the modern world from humanity, the image of progressive era failed to notice the negative effects of this new philosophy. Theologian, organist, philosopher, and physician Albert Schweitzer, in Philosophy of Culture, said man can hardly even recognize the devils of his own creation. In addition to emission from the chimney stack of factories, the world wars followed by the Cold War conflict between the USA and USSR created many detrimental and non-recoupable effects. The resulting factors questioned the durability of the planet in continuing to provide an adequate environment for human habitation. Zoologist Rachel Carson is also in agreement by stating that man is assaulting the Earth's ecosystems and chemicals and polluting the atmosphere with nuclear explosion. The residue of nuclear explosion has released strontium into the atmosphere. Although strontium exists in nature, 90% of its synthetic byproduct are nuclear explosions. Once in the air, it comes down as rain, lodging itself in soil, enters grass, and in time gets into the bones of human beings. The strontium is mainly dangerous to children that are in the process of bone growth because of the chemical similarity to calcium. William McDonough and chemist Michael Braungart state that nature is not just a tool for human purpose, but also argues that the basis for an improved environmental relationship should not consider human beings to be inevitably destructive towards nature and must be curbed and contained. Instead, we should aim to irritate the natural system of taking while giving back to the environment, in the process increasing human enjoyment and the quality of life. On the basis of the input and output, man to man and nature to man, because of what we are facing, Ken Yang suggests humanity requires a theory for design that focuses on the specific analysis of the interdependence and interactions among organisms and their environment. The essence of this theoretical approach should concern itself with the biological makeup, geography, and the thorough understanding of the processes that makes the planet is and continue to be habitable for life to exist. These are and should be the components that define the method of sustainable design. Yang calls it a theory for ecological design. This approach treats the environment as a living organism which involves man in relation to the resources and other factors that make up an ecosystem. These included water, plant life, and other species. The role of each species, minimizing negative effects, proper utilization, and distribution of the available resources are paramount to the sustainability of the environment. The general framework of theory for ecological design is mainly in picking the right variables to consider during schematic design process. The method for identifying negative impacts and hidden vernacular and potential is compatible with the ideas of critical regionalism and Dean Speak's design intelligence approach. Patrick Schumacher-Boley states that design product and processes can only be addressed with an academic framework and understands architecture as a research-based business rather than the medium of artistic expression. The research assists in understanding and defines the part of the framework where the transfer point of man to nature and nature to man does not damage the ecosystem because of design. Vernacular example of this approach included the igloo, capability of the local material for return to its existing natural state with little to no environmental impact. However, the mere presence of the structure in any given environment affects the ecosystem in spatial displacement, and the use of the land is a volumetric loss to the biosphere. In terms of the theoretical structure of ecological design, Biggs' waste-to-energy power plant systematically considers the internal process and the function of the building, carefully and effectively considering its interactions with the ecosystem in terms of uses of energy and resources. The project manages the production of clean energy for human consumption while having a positive effect on the environment. An additional ski slope on top of the building creates an ecosystem which effectively incorporated man on something that in the past was considered hazardous to the health of both man and nature.